Right, just a quick thought regarding last night's game against Leicester. I ended up having not an argument, but put my point across in the West Ham Network group chat, and I've also since watched a few videos on YouTube from other YouTube accounts, West Ham accounts. I'm not having a go. I'm just interested in being educated, let's just put it that way. But so last night we conceded really early. Now that normally could have a really poor effect on West Ham. We could have, heads could have gone down. We could not have fancied it at all the whole night. But straight away, immediately after they scored, we tried to get our own goals. And I'll be honest with you, I think that trend carried on throughout the game. We didn't give up. We didn't down tools. We created, as far as I know, a record amount of chances that we've ever created in a game in the Premier League since we've been there. So there was heart, desire, and attacking football, and we created loads of chances. The only thing we didn't do was stick it in the back of the net, apart from at the end of the game when the game was gone anyway. So we lost the game, right? Fair enough. That that wasn't the outcome we wanted. We needed the results, etc. But then there's this sort of a side argument that is going on that is like, well, we're in a bad position in the league and results come before performances. So we've gone through this whole thing with the David Moyes era where he was getting results at certain points, but it kind of felt like a loss because we played so poorly, you couldn't really enjoy the win. And then we wanted a new manager in a new era or whatever, who would get us playing better football, so it'd be easy to do. Not everyone wanted that, obviously. That's just, there's a demographic of the West Ham fans, including myself, who would prefer that, who wanted to change, and etc. Right? There's also the part of that there's a lot of West Ham fans out there who throughout the years have said that we don't support West Ham because they win, we just want to see a good game of football. When we want West Ham to go for it, give a good account of themselves, show 100% effort and desire, etc. And for me, they did that last night. We didn't score the goal that, the copious amount of chances that we had. But then in fairness, I think we did, because we had a goal chalked off, a perfectly good goal, in my opinion, from Souček. Wasn't a foul on the keeper because he didn't intentionally go anywhere near him. The keeper just couldn't get past Souček, and they're protected, as we know, so it went against us, and the goal was disallowed, and then straight away Leicester score a second goal. And then it was almost like, oh, well, he's got to go now because this is a terrible performance. I don't get this whole thing, this whole terrible performance. One of the worst away days we've ever had. What the players doing. Players didn't show enough. I'm watching the same game. I'm sorry, but I genuinely think that they smashed and grabbed it. They had a new manager bounce. People were saying, oh, Leicester are a terrible team. It might be a terrible team, but just because you've got the better players on the pitch doesn't mean you've got the right to win a game. You have to earn the right to win the game. And unfortunately, we created all these chances and just didn't put them away. It happens. That's football sometimes. But I'm just getting this gist of that, maybe I'm clearly in the vast minority, and fair enough if I'm like that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not having to go at anyone. I just don't really understand it. I've watched quite a few videos, as I said, where people have slagged off the players' performances, or so-and-so didn't have a good night, whatever. But they tried. I think, to be honest with you, I think Bowen was quite selfish, especially in the first half. There was a number of times where he could have passed it to Ings, squared it to Ings, who would have had an easy finish, and he went for it himself and didn't score. But he was running around, all night trying to make things happen. I don't know. Is it just that we've got to win? Is it? And this is the thing. This argument that because we're at the bottom, we need results. If we were in the top, higher in the league, we could maybe allow more performances. But then if we are at the top, in the top half of the league, it's like, oh no, you need results to stay at the top half of the league. Top performances, we need to stay there. So I'm not really sure kind of what fans want at this point. I know obviously the gist of it is that Lopetegui isn't liked very much, and that he's not good enough, and we need a change in management. But I have zero faith that we're going to hire anyone that's better than Lopetegui. I also said at one point, I think when Moyes was in charge, that we can get anyone that's worse than Moyes. And possibly Lopetegui is, possibly I was wrong there. But to suddenly go, right, we'll get Lopetegui out because he's crap, and then expect Sullivan, who is probably going to hire the next manager, as he's done with this one. Lopetegui had 6 months to watch us. He was given allowances in the summer to go and buy players he wanted, as well as Sullivan, as well as Stein. But you're then going to say, right, you're going to trust the people who brought in Lopetegui to bring in someone who's better, or plays a different style, or gets the best out of all these players that we've signed in the summer, plus the ones that are still there from the last 5 years or so. I don't trust it. I don't get it. I was pleased and respected the performance last night. We lost. It happens. I didn't like it. Didn't like the fact we lost. I hated and gutted the fact we lost. But I'm not angry. I'm not pissed off. I'm just taking it on the chin and we move on. If we can play like that every game, I am sure we are not going to lose many more games. But it is what it is. Get your comments in. Tell me if I'm talking absolute waffle, which I probably am. But that's my opinion. That's how I feel about it. And I really don't get some of the comments and some of the videos out there of people's accounts. But fair enough. Everyone's got their own opinion. I could be wrong. They could be right. Vice versa. It's not really about being right or wrong at the minute. I just kind of wanted to get this idea that, you know, we didn't turn up, or we didn't show heart, didn't want to show that, you know, the players wanted to bounce back after the Arsenal result, performance, etc. I saw us giving it some for 90 minutes, just lost to the home team, who themselves need points. Got a new manager, younger manager in, who's upcoming.